obviously there are very many overt ways that you can support your streamer. Many include giving bits or donations, subscribing or gifting gift subs, or even following your favourite streamers or up and coming streamers or friends, whatever variation of streamer and how you want to follow them, that's you. But obviously they're the overt ways, joining in chat and things like that nature. Many of the overt ways, but there are three very underrated ways. I'm also going to include a bonus one. This isn't one of the overt ones, but if you hear something cool, many streamers have a quote feature, and you can add a quote and follow that. So we've got that's a lot of balls banging together. I was playing Fall Guys on that date. It's a shame it doesn't show who quoted it, because that was quoted by B1 the Wild. So I don't know how her quotes include the name. Mine obviously don't. I need to maybe mess with the settings that it includes the person who quoted it. But yeah, that's a fun way that you can do it that isn't necessarily well rated. But this isn't one of the three main underrated ways that you can support your streamer. Obviously, like I say, bits and monetary means obviously do help your streamers in humongous and very obvious ways, but not everyone has the money to do that. So there are many other ways that you can support your favorite streamers. One of which is probably quite well known, is having your auto hosts. But obviously you can also have your recommended streamers, which lists not only who you auto host, but your recommended streamers on your channel. So my channel page has not only my videos of what I streamed recently, games I've played, my channel trailer, but it also has recommended streamers, which are also on my auto host list, which it won't necessarily show up when they go live, because auto host for some reason doesn't tell them, like in Streamlabs, like, hey, this person's hosting you. But it's very, very well a good way of showing, because people will come to your channel, and then if these people are live, they'll obviously auto host them or recommend them in this box, and also whoever's live will get shoved to the left. There's some more that are off the page, but yeah, people can also discover all of these fellow streamers through these means. And obviously you can also type /host in chat, so if you put /host and then the channel name, it will host that channel. And then many streamers will have like Streamlabs set up so that it will come up and say, this person is hosting you. Good, because your followers will get to see that channel. That helps them. And, maybe you'll get a shout out for it as well, which is also very good. And obviously included in this is also raiding. So after you finish your stream, you might have a few people that are left in chat, and they might not know where to go. Then there's only a few channels that I've got following that are currently live, obviously, which is doing some cool loops and beats and things. You can put /raid that channel and send all of your followers to go to that channel to go see what's going on, and then you'll get a big fanfare. They'll usually shout you out. That helps you as well. So sometimes you'll get some followers from raiding them, and it helps both channels in many aspects. So that's really, really underrated how much it helps. Because obviously the raids help raise their numbers, but the hosts, a lot of the discovery from the recommended channels comes from not only what you've been watching, like what sort of channels you've watched, what their content they've done. That's one part of the algorithm that goes into it. So obviously watching just chatting channels, you'll get just chatting recommendations. Channels that you've been on before will also get recommendations, but channels that you've watched that have hosted or raided other channels, like if they're hosting someone currently, that'll also appear in the recommended channels, and you'll often get something pretty low if someone that you're following or things of that nature are hosting someone else, and it'll appear in the low numbers. And that's why sometimes you'll get like really, really low numbers, like 3 or 4 viewers in the recommendations. So it's something very underrated that you can do to really help out the channels. It's just hosting other channels that you recommend or people that you associate with. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing that. Obviously, the second thing that you can do to really help channels, which is really, really underrated, obviously being a lurker. If you lurk in the chats, like so many people, like Richie says, got 22 viewers. like only really 3 or 4 people will be chatting in chat at that time, and most of the people will be lurkers. And the same goes for these big channels, like Northern Line's got 6.8 thousand viewers. Really, only about like 400 will be actively in chat. The rest of them will all be lurking, watching away, and this is good for many reasons. Not only because obviously the ad revenue from the viewership and all of that, but the way that Twitch does things is the higher the view counts, the first it will appear on the recommendations. So there's an important way that I'm going to show you how to lurk, which is, like, if you mute the actual video, Twitch won't count it as a viewer. So what you want to do is mute the tab. Then it will not make any noise when you go to the channels. And if I just click on, for example, let's go to music, the viewership will always be the most viewers to the lowest, usually. Okay, it used to be. Now it's in recommended for you, which is actually an interesting. She is live. Okay. I don't know. She used to get recommended on mine a lot. She's cool. She's dev. She does Plants vs Zombies music and different things. Obviously, it's saying all that on her thing. Let's not show her channel too much. But now lurking. Now supporting. You know, if you want to lurk multiple channels without showing it off, you know, obviously a lot of people will be listening in the background doing other stuff. But if you really can't listen, or you want to lurk in multiple channels, mute the tab. It will count as a viewer. And it's a really, really, really good way of lurking. So, you know, that's how to lurk. If you mute the video, which, you know, if you click mute on the video, that will not count as a viewer. But lurking whilst muting the tab, that counts. So that's the correct way of doing that. But like I said, the higher the viewership, it really, really makes a difference with people like with 2 or 3 viewers, because so many viewers will have like 1 or 0 viewers, and just those extra couple of viewers with the lurkers will elevate them so much higher in the highest to lowest viewership. And the way the Twitch shows it usually is like the most viewers will appear above everyone else. Obviously, for some reason, I'm now in like what's recommended for you to be highest rather than that. But, you know, the more viewers, the more chance the channel has of getting noticed. And also the same within the creator dashboards. If we go to the creator dashboards, it'll load up, it's a bit slow. If you click on raid channel, the awkward thing is it will show the highest number of viewers to the lowest. Again, really, I like to rate the lowest viewership, but it won't even show everyone that you follow live either. Like, it'll only show like 6 maximum. So if there's a lot of people that are streaming at the same time, anyone with lower viewership will be eliminated from the raid list, and they'll be hard to find. So that also is a great thing. You know, just by lurking, you're increasing the chance of that channel getting raided. They'll get even more viewers coming in, and it'll just help their channel grow exponentially. So, you know, it's so underrated and so hard to state how really effectively it works and is great. Okay, let's mute this tab. The last way that we have of really, really elevating is with clips. Obviously, top 70 clips, so these are going to be the most viewed to the least viewed. But, you know, it's not that important that they're necessarily viewed. You can... Oh, they're always in. The top in the 24 hours is actually probably the best that I'd recommend. But just clipping something on your channel, these clips will stay permanent and forever. So they're really, really, really good thing to do for your channel. So if you're watching your channel, even if you're not participating in chat, just clipping something is very effective. Like, I don't even share the clips that I create. I just create clips and then they sit there. And I don't post them on Twitter, I don't post them on Facebook, I don't post them on Reddit, I don't do anything. And ironically, error 404, live not found, has got 404 views. I thought that was hilarious that got that. But you know, I'm obviously, because I don't share mine don't necessarily have the most views, and a lot of the channels that I follow are tiny. I know, obviously, Yogscast, Booth, and that, and they're kind of big. Tahara is a fellow streamer, friend of the channel. She did Twitch things with us. She does some cool and interesting challenges. Obviously, she wanted me to clip that for her, and obviously I didn't edit the title, but editing the title is pretty important because, you know, you want the viewers to know what's up, and you know, it increases the chance of it being found. Obviously, doing something really, really funny and silly in the title really works pretty well. Like my favourite 43-year-old man tries to tell us a story, because that's what Leo was pretending to be. It's pretty cool. Raz had a heart attack during a stream. You know, the streamer will often watch these as well, because obviously you can see clips of my channel. And it's important for the streamer in many ways. So determination not to throw, throws Andy out the airlock, a literal throw. And obviously this scary like one for Wolfenbell got a lot of views because it was it's kind of funny. Didn't share it anywhere. I guess she maybe shared it somewhere. Booth had one that I had like thousands of views on that I know Booth liked, but I guess it had copyright music or something and she deleted after. But that had a lot of views. And you know, some of my clips do get a fair few views. And you know, this clip was close to TOS, obviously gets a fair few views because she almost committed TOS. But you know, it's not underrated at all. Well, it is underrated, but it's not unbeneficial because obviously these show up in search engines. They help the channels to get more attention. People follow through to the channel from these. They're likely to get followers or subscribers from these, and also when the streamer goes to it, obviously, if people tell them what the things are, you know, it says. Where does it say? Okay, this one was done by Andy. Does it not say? That's dumb. I'm sure it said somewhere. Interesting. It should say who created it. That would be good. It should. I'm sure. Maybe if I click through to it. Which ironically, now we have to mute this tab. Okay, if we go through to the tab. Clip by Super Panda G. Yeah, so obviously it shows who clipped the thing. And a lot of streamers will use that. So if they get a really, really cool and interesting clip, they get attention for the person who created it, and then they'll put a compilation. Like many streamers make compilations of the cool and interesting clips and post them on YouTube, and they say who has clipped it, and you know, they get a shout out for that. But you know, it's a shame it doesn't show it in the dashboard like this. It really should show who clipped it in the dashboard. But you know, it also can be used to make compilations for YouTube. So there are many things that can be done with the clips, and the clips also get a lot of attention for the channel on Twitch itself. So you know, it's very underrated. Just watching something, if you see the streamer do something really cool or really funny, you know, just something clip worthy, clip it, edit your clip to the right size, give it a good title. Like this one is an absolute literal mess of people ruining people's lives in Fall Guys, and you know, weird cheaty pings just knocking everyone off all over the shop because they are nonsense, broken, hacky trash, which is on the increase. And there's this nonsense hot dog that runs at me, pushes through me with a force that no one should be able to push through in Fall Guys, and then pings back and teleports back to his own reality. And then ruins my entire run because I don't want to be anywhere near him, but I still end up near him, and he launches me into the sky and then ends my run. Look, I'm trying to keep back from him. He comes back, runs, and then we get launched. That guy also gets launched in the air, and then he's still trying to run back for us and ruins our life. So yeah, like just fun and interesting clips like that. They do a lot for the channel. They help get it noticed, even if you don't share it. But if you want to share it on social media or with your friends or whatever, that's even better, because then you help spread word of the channel even more. But you know, even if you just make the clips, like people I know not necessarily a lot, but people will watch them, even if it's just the streamer watching it once or like a mod watching it. But they'll get noticed. They will get noticed, and you know, some get noticed more than others because maybe the streamer also shares them, or they're just a popular streamer. I don't know, but you know, like this one, Dan Giesling. I clipped this one, and he used it in his highlights, and I got named. He's like, I'd rather take the victory, immediately shot. So immediately murdered. The instant he is like, I'd rather extract and take the victory, and then boom, dead. Tarkov. Really, really good clip. 5 seconds long. He used it in his highlights for the month. You know, I got shouted out for it on the reel, so you know it got my name on it. I didn't even share it. There's such a good clip. You know, that's all you got to do is just clip what you like, clip what you find funny with your streamer, clip what's interesting. So underrated, but works so well. And then, like I say, just you know, chatting in chats also is obviously helpful in many ways, and you know, using the quotes. But you know, lurking, so underrated. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to give bits. You don't have to give donations. You don't have to sub. You don't have to gift subs. Obviously, these really help the streamer a lot, but you really don't have to do any of this. You don't have to follow them on social media or anything. Just use any of these underrated ways to support your streamer, like hosting them, raiding them, clipping their really cool and interesting content, and when they're being funny and when they're doing something cool, making a quote for some completely out of context nonsense. That's a lot of balls banging together. That's what that round is, just big balls bouncing into each other and banging together, and it's mostly of what a Fall Guys is. You know, and people can come into chat and use the exclamation point quote and get these random quotes, and you know, it'd be interesting. You don't even have to make a clip to go with it. If you make a clip to go with it, awesome. But if you don't, you know, it's fine. The quotes alone can be funny and out of context. But hosting your streamer, lurking in them so that the stream count increases, so that they're more likely to be discovered, so that they're more likely to get extra help. Again, you know, Lady Vampire's just gone live testing something. She's updated her icon. You know, these things all help your streamers out immensely. You don't have to share their content. You don't have to, you know, tweet out that they're live or any of this. You just be there, just lurk in the chat, and that is humongous in helping your streamers in many ways. But you know, any of these underrated ways, they're so underrated. Like the clips, so appreciated by many. With, you know, just making them. You don't have to shout out about them. You don't have to share them. You don't have to do anything. Just make clips of their content. And there are streamers that, with the shout outs on their channel, when they use the shout out command, will often play a random clip from that channel on their thing. Because I know Panda uses like a random clip for a shout out, and it'll show a random clip from the channel he's shouting out. So yeah, just make some clips and, you know, give it a good title so that it makes sense, and edit it so that it works right. It takes a couple of seconds to literally do out of the content. You know, if you found something entertaining, click the clip. Even if you don't want to title it, just click in the clip at that moment. Like, the streamer can sort of mess about with it after the fact, and it won't matter too much. But, you know, if you go out of your way to make a good and edited clip for like literally no time, it really does help. I had to clip this out of context joke, so there was a good out of context joke. Obviously, you know, maybe I should put it as a quote in her channel, but I made a clip of it. Obviously, never shared it. It's got 3 views, but I'm sure she's seen it. That's one of them. And you know, the streamer being entertained by it and seeing someone clipping their content is really good. So, you know, obviously there are also like channel points and things that you can use in their channels to help support them, help their goals, you know, support the things. But again, these are more overt things. The 3 really underrated things that I've said, like lurking, hosting them or raiding them, and clipping them and adding quotes to their channels, so underrated and so little effort without you ever having to spend any money. So, streamers will really appreciate it if you do any of these. But you got to lurk properly, you got to lurk with the muted tab if you're not listening to it. If you have a million tabs open, you've got to do it with the muted tab, because otherwise Twitch won't count the view. They notice if you mute the player, but they don't notice if you mute the tab. So you got to mute the tab. It's it's the only way for the lurk to still count. But it will increase the view count, and it will really help your streamer and help support them, and they'll help bring in more people because they'll get more notice because it's got more viewers. And like I say, the 90% of most chats will be lurkers, people watching without taking part in the content. Either they're listening in or just sat watching and not joining in chat, or they're doing other things, or they're muted and supporting them because they have to do other stuff, or they're watching something else, but they want to support the viewership. And it really does help out with many channels to have these lurkers. So if you want to support any of your channels and streamers and you don't have the money, any of these will help them immensely, and I would highly recommend that you help them. But thank you for joining, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.